I'm calling it now. I think we've just witnessed the death of the dollar dominance trend that we've seen in the last several months.
Swallow this.
Let's talk about it. The dollar absolutely plummeted this week, and I want to talk about why. Many traders are probably wondering what the heck happened with this dollar trend. And the dollar trend definitely has lost its steam. I want to talk about this from a technical analysis perspective as well as a fundamental analysis perspective and give you guys what I think could be a little bit of a new forming trend in the markets. So let's talk about it. So first of all, let's do some technical analysis. This week, we thought the dollar was going to potentially break out. And I didn't necessarily think that that was what's going to happen, but I was waiting to see if the Fed meeting and everything that we saw play out this week would in fact get us to break out of this key zone of resistance here. And what you can see that actually happened is that price really tried to get above this level of resistance. And what we can see here is that if you were watching us during the live stream that day, we streamed for 6 hours straight and we watched this candle form as the chart shot through resistance, but failed to close on what was essentially incredibly weak sounding hawkishness from Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve. There was not, despite many opportunities from Jerome Powell's speech and questions that followed from his press conference, many opportunities to take up a hawkish stance again and perhaps continue the dollar trend. They didn't get it, right? So we said all through the stream, we said, watch the daily chart candle close. It's going to be incredibly telling. Sure enough, it was telling. Not only was it telling, but it sort of showcased what was to come for the dollar index, which was a plummet back down following that Fed conference. Now, again, why was that so meaningful? Well, if you look at the dollar index, whether you trade euro dollar, gold, pound dollar, dollar yen, or even stock market indices, all of these things are watching the dollar because the dollar is in some ways reflective of what the Fed is thinking. Right now, the dollar index has been up to this point pretty dang hawkish, the Fed has been, and the dollar's been incredibly bullish because of it, right? Because they're, the idea of further rate hikes and tightening monetary conditions and perhaps recession on the horizon, that drives the dollar higher. But that losing its edge, I think, perhaps creates some new trends in the market. So when we drop it down to the 4-hour chart, I want to show you what we're seeing happening here now. Of course, we need to employ the same concept that we did on the way up. Can we break out of this consolidation zone on the daily? That's going to be the question. But like I said, when you drop it down to the 4-hour, you've got to break through the lows here. And if we can confirm underneath here, it is perhaps set to continue lower. Because it's not just the Fed meeting, we also had NFP, which came out cooler than expected, which again, a softening labor market just adds more to the downside push on the dollar because again, strong jobs usually causes the dollar to pop, weak jobs adds fire to the flame that already was the US dollar sell-off that we've seen. Also, I just want to let you guys know that currently, if you're a regular viewer of the channel or the live streams, we're doing a massive 45% off Black Friday sale right now. And all you have to do if you'd like access to any of our products or services, click the link down below in the description. It is, like I said, 45% off if you message someone from our team. We'll get you hooked up with the Edge Finder or our Discord Trade Alert service if that's something that you're interested in. Again, message us for more information. So again, with the dollar index, there's many charts that we could kind of spiral off for this going forward. Again, big breakout to the downside for the dollar index, but I got to show you where I'm positioned. And the dollar weakness has been very beneficial to my trading account. I'm currently floating $8,500 at the time of recording this on the S&P 500.
You what?
Now, I picked this trade up inside of our Discord group, and I'll show you what that looks like here really quick, just so you can see the logic behind this trade. Feel free to pause the video if you want to read through this, but basically we went long at the beginning of November. November 1st was the day. So bright and early in the morning, went long on the S&P 500 after what we saw essentially to be a weak retracement after this kind of nice breakout from this downward trend. So we're trending lower, breakout, pullback, and it just ran. And at this point, I've trailed stops a few times, but one notable thing, and I'll show you this on the full screen in a second, seasonality was big for the S&P 500 as we went into this month. And so I think that it continues to potentially create an end of the year rally, which so far with all of this data that we got from the Fed and from the labor statistics world, right, NFP, we have a nicely supported uptrend here on the S&P 500. And not to mention on the daily chart, we have this kind of downward trend that has just broken up to the upside. I love to see it. I've got a trailing stop in play, and off of the 4-hour chart, as long as we hold this kind of low that we formed, I will be in. And if it does break and close, then we'll be out for a very nice profit. So again, floating about 87.50 at the time of recording this video, but that is a current trade for me. If you're wondering, is it time to get in on the S&P 500? I would say I'm cautious up here. I'm not looking to buy this thing up here, but any pullbacks perhaps could present buying opportunities if you share that bullishness that I do. But of course, this is not financial advice. I'm just sharing what I'm doing in the markets. I've got 500 shares long of the S&P 500. Let's take a look now at gold, which is of course another really key market in all of this. That cooling from the jobs number, as well as preceded by a Fed that sounded pretty dovish, it tells me that, again, the dollar index is not something I want to be long on. In fact, it tells me be really careful with that dollar breakout that we just discussed. And if that does in fact happen, we very well could look at a gold breakout that could continue the upward momentum. Now, I know already people are going to say, wait a second, Nick, geopolitics is what was driving the gold move previously, because during this period of time, the dollar index was going up while gold went up. So it was geopolitics that got it up here. The question, in my opinion, is if we get that dollar breakout to the downside, can that take us from here into new highs? Because again, if the dollar index does fall, at the end of the day, gold is quoted in dollars. So I want to take a look at this here with you guys in terms of the Edge Finder's setups. So first of all, you can see the alerts that we're getting. We already have bullish setups on the S&P 500, and it is a very thin, slim pickings. But again, I think it's quality over quantity when it comes to the Edge Finder. So we've got some strong readings overall here, and I continue to, like I said, hold that S&P. But I want to show you something in terms of the S&P 500. Part of the reason that I liked it long is that you had this net huge increase in bullishness from smart money. Again, we're looking at the smart money tracker, aka the COT data. And we can see here that if you're somebody who's watching gold, there is still a very bullish presence on gold. And in the latest filing, which we will get another one here today later on, 5% increase in bullishness on the gold market. You know, I'm looking at that and I'm saying, you know, if gold breaks out to the upside, there, in my opinion, is potentially more upside to be had. Now, like I said, if you're not an Edge Finder user already, there is a huge Black Friday sale going on right now. And later on today, we will be getting updated data. It comes out every Friday. So COT data is coming. So pick up a copy of the Edge Finder if you have not already, again, for that 45% off sale that we are doing, linked down below in the description. Just shoot us a message and we'll hook you up. We'll get you set up. We like to manually speak with each person that buys the Edge Finder if possible, because that allows us to answer your questions and make sure it's a right fit for you. So it's free to message us. Just ask us about the discount and any questions you might have if this is something that would be useful to you. A quick look at retail sentiment also indicates in terms of the currency side what's been going on. So in terms of signals here, what we can see on the majors is that we're getting bearish signals for dollar Swiss, Kiwi dollar, and the Australian dollar. And we're getting bullish signals for dollar yen and dollar CAD. Now, why? Well, when we look at sentiment from the retail trader's perspective, we like to be contrarian to what retail traders are doing. So we have a 63% ratio of short traders to long positions on the retail side. So something to keep a close eye on. So again, for gold traders, we'll watch to see if we can break above. Let's also now take a quick look at some currency pairs. So we take a look at the EURUSD, and what we see here is an impressive breakout here today. And as long as this closes strong, especially on that daily chart candles, which we always talk about being very, very important, you know, I think we're probably due for a little bit of a pullback as we reach perhaps the upper limits of this little channel that we've got going on. You can see this counter trend now seems to potentially, and I say that cautiously, the downtrend, counter trend that we've seen here, a little uptick, seems to be potentially trying to break out and move back into a bigger trend to the upside. But like I said, I think we're a bit stretched on the euro in the short term. If you're looking at this, on the 1 hour, we're reaching the upper limits to that kind of that trend that we were just discussing, and perhaps watching for a pullback could be, if you think that the dollar trend is going to continue lower, as I personally do, watch this level. Again, pull back into this area of support should hold if in fact that dollar is going to crack and stay bearish. So that would be how I'd watch Euro USD. Pound USD, same concept. We have an impressive breakout. Here's your 4-hour chart. I would say be a little cautious on this. You still have resistance here that the price is trying to get above, but we did break out of this area. So I would say euro looks a little bit stronger than the pound at this time. We take a look at dollar yen, completely erased all those gains that it made. And as we trade back into this range, I mean, if you're a yen bear, there might be something here, but for me, there's too much mixed. I'm kind of a yen bear as well as a dollar bear at this time, so probably not the trade for me. Here's dollar CAD, which I actually took a trade in the VIP group on the long side, and I'm really glad that I got out of this trade when I did, because look at what happened. We fell apart here following that trade, which was a Monday trade for me. I traded that right into the end of October and then closed out of that. So again, I'll show you that trade just to show you. Whenever I talk trades, I like to showcase that they were actually taken in our group, because I do share all of the things that I'm taking trades on. So this was October 30th that I took that trade, and was able to get out of there for a nice profit before the big reversal. You can see there was the final update before, boom, it dropped like a rock. So kind of a crazy move. Again, guys, remember, take advantage of that Black Friday sale, get access to the Edge Finder or our VIP group, both of which are 45% off if you direct message us using the link that's at the very top of the description. Have a great rest of your day. If you're looking to improve as a trader, we've got some cool free resources here that I wanted to share as we close today's video. Down below in the description, there is a link to join our Discord channel or our Telegram channel. And we also have our website, a1trading.com, where traders can get access to free course material to help you improve as a trader. Remember, we are also live Monday through Friday on this channel around 9:30 a.m. US Eastern, broadcasting most live news events and that sort of thing. So hope to see you there. And also, we do have a couple videos here showing up on the screen. If either of these seems like it might be helpful to you, then make sure to click here or here, and we'll see you there.